Let me tell you something. Days are way too short for a gardener in spring. Between the day job, the daily tasks, meal prepping, there's not a lot of time left to do everything that needs to be done before the gardening season really kicks off. I mean, amending the beds, trimming the fruit trees, transplanting perennials, the project. I would literally need 36 hours in a day to get everything done. Anyhow, spring really kept me busy in the garden. Let me tell you that. As soon as the snow had melted, I started to clean up my backyard. We amended all of our garden beds with shrimp compost that I got delivered by the yard. This meant carrying buckets and buckets of compost. Good cardio and arm workout. We also used that precious time between winter and the official gardening season to build a new raised bed. We still had a bunch of pallet wood from building our raised garden beds last year, so we designed our project knowing that we would be using repurposed materials. The idea behind this construction is to place it close to the gazebo frame and trellis beams all over one side and the entire roof of the gazebo. Stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed to have all the details about this project. Every week of March and April, I started some seeds indoors for my spring and my summer gardens. I used this calendar from Les Jardins Licoumène to help me figure out what to start and when to start it. The calendar I use is for zone 5 and 6, but Les Jardins Licoumène also published a version for those of you in zone 3 and 4. It is a great tool to help you plan your garden, plus it's completely free. Radishes, spinaches, turnips, mustard, and bok choy seeds were all directly sown into my garden beds in my kiddie pool garden. I organized our seed sowing to have a harvest every week. Although we had a couple of radish harvests, we didn't have anything else, unfortunately. Temperatures plummeted mid-May and almost everything went to seeds. This is a radish. Bok choy had survived the first heat wave, but I decided to harvest them before the second one just to make sure we had an harvest. May. Was I busy in May or was I busy? It was a good idea to start 240 tomato seedlings to sell, right? Until came the time to transplant them in solo cups. First, I had so much trouble getting my hands on some solo cups because of the sanitary restrictions going on in my hometown. I couldn't buy them at the store, so we had to order them from Amazon. This is not ideal when you need the cups right now or like 2 days ago. So once I had the solo cups delivered, I had to drill holes in them and then I had to transplant my 240 tomato seedlings. It literally took me 8 hours. The rest of the month, I spent about an hour each day taking the seedlings in and out of the house to harden them off. Of course, my husband was there to help me, and don't mind the fact that he was complaining every day about how many plants I had and how much time consuming this was. In May, we also bought more soil. We weren't done carrying 5-gallon buckets. We needed to fill the new raised bed as well as all the containers for my garden. We bought 2 yards of soil and got to work. Now all the interlock portion of the backyard is a container garden. Welcome to the jungle, my friends. In June, I got to choose my tomato plants from my own nursery, aka my backyard. I felt so lucky when came the time to choose tomato plants for my garden, and I had the most amazing selection of 14 varieties of absolutely beautiful tomato plants to choose from. I chose the best looking one, of course, 38 plants in total. Now they're all happy in their 5-gallon buckets, and I can't wait to have a tomato sandwich. Anyone else? The reason I started this mini tomato seedling was to try and sell 200 tomato plants to pay for our yearly gardening expenses. I learned so much doing this. I plan on writing a whole blog about my experience, what I've learned, what worked, what I would do differently, etc. But let's just say that I still have more than 160 plants left to sell. Oh well. As hectic as my spring was, I'm in full gardening mode at this point. Watering my plants and removing tomato suckers are a part of my daily morning routine. Sunscreen is my new day cream, and my water bottle follows me everywhere. I'm also ready mentally and physically to start battling some pests in the garden. Yikes! I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for a full garden tour this weekend.